At the busiest airport in the world, some passengers have an unexpected layover on the jet bridge.
I'm a random search, guys. So he says.
See those white folks?
And I'm the random search.
These Clayton County narcotics officers searched actor Jean Ellie. The same thing happened to comedian Clayton English.
When they stopped me on that jet bridge, most of the other people that went past me seemed to be, white people.
English has joined forces with fellow comedian Eric Andre.
I had 2 agents whip out a badge,
Filing a federal lawsuit against Clayton County police accusing airport narcotics officers of racial profiling.
The most hardcore drugs I have in my backpack are Propecia.
Drugs are rarely found in these jet bridge searches, according to Clayton County narcotics logs obtained by Atlanta News First Investigates. Records that also show local police have seized more than $1 million in cash from passengers. We know that more than 90% of the people they search, they don't seize anything and they don't arrest anyone.
Right. It didn't make sense to me at all. It felt like profiling because who's taking drugs to LA? Weed is legal out there, everything. Like, you're gonna get I don't see who's taking it out there. Maybe you should be catching somebody coming in. That might have made sense. Like, how many big dealers have you caught like this? Is this how you caught El Chapo? And then once I was actually given the statistics, I'm like, oh, okay. That's never what it was about.
The comedians cite national statistics showing 8% of air travelers are black. Their lawsuit accuses Clayton County officers of stopping black passengers at a rate 7 times that national average. In a little more than a year and a half, Clayton County officers searched more than 360 passengers on the jet bridge. That's enough to fill 2 737 jetliners. Travel statistics show 1 out of every 3 airline passengers is a person of color. But according to Clayton County logs, their officers searched passengers of color at double that rate. Black passengers overall made up the majority of those searched, 54%. And black men were by far the largest group. 46% of passengers stopped on the jet bridge.
The odds of it being random and it coming out to where all the people that you're pulling over are black people, are people of color, are some ethnic group, it's like, no, there's no way this is random.
There was a handful of black people. My flight was full. So let's say it was 200 people on the flight and maybe 5 to 10 black people on the flight period.
You didn't see any white people stopped getting on your flight?
No, absolutely not.
Film director Tabari Sturdivant was also boarding a flight to LA when he was searched by federal drug task force officers.
I travel around the world and I've seen different things. I've seen random, you put your ticket on it, boop, this is a random check all over the world. Why am I in my hometown, Atlanta, Georgia, that, you can totally humiliate me and disregard my rights?
Atlanta News First Investigates tracked the plainclothes task force officers through the airport. Records show the federal agents described the searches as random, consensual encounters. But the same records detail how they selected specific passengers. Observed a man who appeared nervous. Why you? Why did they pick you?
I had a black hoodie on. I had an expensive duffel bag around my back. I had some expensive shoes on.
That's not a crime.
It's not a crime.
But designer bags show up repeatedly in the federal forfeiture filings and DEA evidence photographs. Brown Gucci bag, black Louis Vuitton backpack. They're saying Atlanta to Los Angeles is a drug trafficking route.
Right.
But it's also a route for entertainment. Black man with a designer bag flying to LA might be in the film industry, not the drug industry.
Right. The only reason I can think is because they look like they're not supposed to have something that nice. Or you think that this person shouldn't be able to afford this item based off their skin color.
This is the form DEA agents were required to fill out 20 years ago, showing the race and ethnicity of passengers they searched. But the Department of Justice Inspector General discovered the DEA has not collected any such data regarding cold consent encounters since 2003, in part because there were too many in a day. The IG report said the Department of Justice noted cold consent encounters are more often associated with racial profiling.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm not even allowed to get on a plane to go do work without being, profiled.
The Clayton County search logs are heavily redacted, but Atlanta News First Investigates was able to see behind the redactions, showing the local officers received training from the DEA task force in a 3-day federal program called Operation Jetway. We got those records from attorneys for the two comedians, but when we asked for the same exact records directly from Clayton County, the section about officers getting federal training wasn't redacted, it was completely missing.
You're taking people's money based off an assumption, not facts, not evidence, and it's really not much recourse for the people. So yeah, something definitely needs to be done.